Good evening once again and welcome to Unfiltered Gupshup's podcast. Unfiltered Gupshup is a podcast where real stories meet raw conversations from photography, design, culture and creativity. We dive into unfiltered chats with everyday dreamers, doers in raw conversation where bold creativity meets spark, inspiration and connections. Thanks to all of you, Supreme Power, AB Photos, family and many more to thank. Welcome to another podcast of Unfiltered Gupshup. Today we have special guest and let me introduce a little bit about her. Gunjan has been a dedicated volunteer with Kiran since 2018, starting as a hotline volunteer and progressing to the current role as a board member and financial officer. Over the past 2 years, she has been instrumental in overseeing Kiran's financials, driving strategic fundraising initiatives and supporting the community to outreach projects aimed at empowering survivors of domestic violence. So please welcome to the Unfiltered Gupshup's podcast and please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Aditi, for a very good introduction and a very kind introduction. My name is Gunjan Arya and I am a trained physician from India and a scientist. I've been working for a couple decades now, and I have now progressed into project management in the alliance management domain. I have been with Kiran since 2018, as you said, and I am currently serving on the board of directors as Deputy Financial Officer.
Yes. So can you tell us about Kiran's mission and how it serves the community in the RTP area?
Sure. Kiran is a non-profit organization based in North Carolina. We serve all of North Carolina. Its mission is to end cycle of domestic abuse and violence and empower South Asian survivors through culturally sensitive and supportive services, advocacy and community outreach. We serve not only women, we serve men also who have reached out to Kiran for their services.
Oh, okay, that's new to me. What inspired to founding the Kiran and how it was given a form?
That's a great question. The seeds of the organization were sown in 1998 when a group of community members saw the gap. They identified the gap that there were a lot of critically serious domestic violence cases of South Asian origin. And they thought that there is a need for some intervention here. And we attained non-profit status in 2000. And in 2008, we started getting federal grants. So up until then, the community members were helping support Kiran.
Okay, that's awesome. So what are some of the unique challenges in South Asian community faces when it comes seeking help or support?
Great question again. So Kiran is helping victims of domestic abuse, violence, and sexual abuse, right?
Yes.
All these are taboos. There are cultural nuances where we come from. There is generational conditioning that this is how it is, this is how you have to be, this is how your life is, and it's okay to take abuse. A lot of our clients do not recognize that this is domestic abuse. So as a part of Kiran's outreach efforts, we also educate people to identify what is abuse. Because abuse could be physical, abuse could be mental, abuse could be financial. You know, just holding on to somebody's passport and not giving immigration status is also abuse. So there are various kinds and types of abuse that people don't realize that this is abuse. And so that is what Kiran does.
And sometimes women surrender also. They think, okay, for the family we are taking all the things and the abuse goes beyond some limits.
Rightly said, rightly said. So a lot of women say that, oh, I have children and I have to bear this for the sake of my children. And what they do not realize is that there is a lot of influence that this has on the mental health of their children as well.
Yes.
And it's just not a very healthy environment to be brought up in. And so it is important to recognize when there is abuse.
Yes, and also I think I do not know whether the Kiran has any like supporting how to become independent. So I think this is very important for a lady to become independent financially.
Absolutely. So Kiran not only helps them in their journey towards getting independent and out of the abusive relationship, we also provide sources of empowerment. So we also share their resumes, we help them upskill, because we want to ensure that they are not dependent on anybody. So we do not want them to come from one dependent situation where they're dependent on their domestic partner to be in another dependent situation where then they're dependent on Kiran. So we want them to stand on their own feet, be independent, and be successful.
Yes. How does Kiran provide culturally sensitive services for the survivors of the domestic violence and abuse?
So Kiran, we offer a range of services. We have multilingual services that we provide because there is a lot of language barrier, right? And that is where the gap was. You know, there are beautiful, great organizations that help victims of domestic abuse. However, language is always a barrier, right? When in an abusive relationship or when in crisis, a person always is more comfortable in expressing in their local language. And so it's very important that we provide that safe space, that remove that language barrier, where they're able to then converse, speak their heart, express themselves very clearly and concisely, or in detail, you know, however, because they need someone to listen to them and to make them feel that they got this.
And they feel confident when they are able to speak into their language. They are able to explain more and more about the situations.
That's correct.
Can you walk us through a success story that reflects the impact of Kiran's work?
Yes, I can. There was this one survivor now, but a client, a victim then when she reached out to Kiran. And she reached out through our 24-hour hotline service that we have. A lot of our volunteers within the community serve as hotline volunteers. And so she reached out to one of them, and the case was then transferred to the client services manager at Kiran. And she was in a very abusive relationship where it was not just verbal abuse, there was a lot of physical abuse, and the abuse was trickling down to her children as well. So it was a situation where we had to intervene very quickly, and we had to make sure that she has a safe space to be. So we had to very, very quickly, in an emergency kind of way, remove her out of that situation, out of that place, and out of that relationship. We helped her get legal advice. We helped her we referred her to mental health advocates and mental health counselors, you know, so that she could get the help, the timely help, and not only her, even her children. We ensured that they have counselors that are helping them as well. So we got her to a safe space, a safe home. We ensured that she gets out of that abusive relationship, and then we ensured that she stands on her own feet, that she gets a job, that she is able to take care of herself and her family, her children that are her family. And now she helps this community as a volunteer with Kiran and is giving back.
That's so awesome.
She is amazing.
So what types of programs or outreach does Kiran offer, and how can people get involved how people can come and volunteer if they want to.
Right, there are many ways to get involved with Kiran. We do a lot of outreach events. We also have teen outreach events where we get teenagers together, and we will organize a fun event like bowling, or they go onto the trampoline park, or they go ice skating. And then when they're having their pizza lunch, we talk to them about identifying abuse, identifying what is okay when dating and what is not okay when dating, because this is a very critical thing that is very rampant in the society, right?
Yes.
What is bullying, and how to identify and how to say no? What are your rights? And if they do see and they do identify any sources or any issues like that, then they should speak up.
Yes.
They should reach out to another adult who they think they're safe with, or their school counselor, or their teacher, or they have the access to our 24/7 hotline service through our website. We also provide self-defense, and self-care.
That's awesome.
Outreach, so that they know how to defend themselves and how to not let it affect their mental health.
Yes.
The other thing is that we are everything that we are is because of our community that we live in, right? We have immense community support through the RTP area, through the Charlotte area, and we count on our volunteers. We count on our donors. We have wonderful people and organizations that donate to Kiran, and that's what keeps us going. So that's one way to help. You could donate. You can be a hotline volunteer. You can serve on the task force. So there's a Raleigh task force and there's a Charlotte task force, and you can serve on the task force of Kiran, so that you are able to give back to the community. And the other way of also supporting Kiran is by talking to your organizations, right? You may have these community volunteer hours or community reach efforts that your organization where you work has, or they match your donations. So please ensure that you put Kiran as your choice of charity.
Yeah. Why not? It's a noble cause also. So how has the conversational around domestic violence or mental health shifted in the South Asian community, and what role has Kiran played in that shift?
Very good question. We have seen a shift in this conversation, right? We have seen a shift in the mental makeup of people. They are now recognizing domestic violence. They understand. They are not afraid to talk. They are not afraid to reach out. And Kiran has played a pivotal role in getting all these outreach events, this education, that this is not a taboo. It's not. We have to let go of the generational conditioning that we have been in, that what will our reputation be in the society? What will the community say? People are now recognizing this because there have been so many instances around us, and very recently around us, you may have known that there was a case of domestic violence, and this young girl was of South Asian descent, and she was murdered, and we were hoping that we would have got a chance to help her and she would have reached out. But people are now recognizing these, and they're talking about it, and they're educating others also.
Yeah, we have to see all around what is going on around. So what are the misconceptions people have about the kind of work Kiran does?
The first and foremost misconception is that Kiran only serves women.
Yes.
Right? That is the biggest misconception. And no, we do have men who have reached out to us. So I call upon the other men of the community also to come volunteer with Kiran.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful, a strong leader as one of our board members who is a man. So we do have a man on our board.
And he's back, I saw that.
Yes, and he is very supportive, and he's been an avid volunteer with Kiran for years, and now he serves on the board. So reach out, volunteer with us. The other misconception is that it's only domestic abuse. No, we have clients who are struggling with identity crisis. There's LGBTQ community, and how do we come out in the community? What do we say? What will our parents say? What will our uncles and aunties say? So this is, and it's very critical because this affects their mental health immensely.
Yes.
And then they start getting into, they deteriorate very quickly if they're not given that support and that safe space and that someone to talk to.
Yeah. So how do you train and prepare your staff or volunteers to deal with this kind of sensitive and complex issues?
Yeah, as you said, it is a very sensitive and it's very complex, and it's also, there's a lot of confidential nuances,
yes.
right? Privacy laws.
Yes.
So our staff and our volunteers, they undergo rigorous training.
Okay.
We also reach out to other local trainers and local organizations that help or that work in the domestic abuse field, and they get together and they talk about it and they train of best practices and how things are, how you deal with things. The situation sometimes is very intense and it's crisis intervention. So we need to ensure that especially our hotline volunteers are ready to take that and are ready to be in that situation and to help without it affecting their own mental health.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to come and volunteer, what is the process to go through?
We have a volunteer with us tab on our website, and at every event that we host or any tabling event that we do, we always have a log where you can write your name, you can write your email, and you can say you'd like to volunteer. And if you have a skill set that you think that would help Kiran, because we have a lot of volunteers, I would call them also, who are in human resources as their day job, and they help the Kiran clients by reading their resumes. By if there is a work opportunity, they reach out and they say that there is a work opportunity, your resume looks apt for it, why don't you apply?
Okay.
We have a lot of community volunteers who help them prepare for their interviews. We have a lot of community volunteers that help transportation. So just taking them from their house to the court for a hearing, for doctor's visits, because they do not have a car.
Yes.
You see, they're starting at ground zero.
Yes.
Right? We've always reached out to the community, and the community has been so kind, and they have opened doors and their hearts and their pockets, and they have. When we say that we need to rebuild a future for one of our clients, they will come up with, I have, excuse me, I have a couch that you can have. I have utensils that you can take. I have a sofa set. I have a bedroom set that you can take. I have a car, an old car that I can donate. Or I provide education services. I tutor as my profession. I can tutor the kids for free. I can help with giving them a makeover for free. So it just builds that confidence for a client whose world is crashing and tumbling down.
Yes. What are the upcoming projects for Kiran and initiatives, goals, and what is excited things are coming up for Kiran?
As I said that we got our non-profit status in 2000, and we are in 2025. So it is our 25th year. It's a milestone year for us.
It is.
We have a Kiran Gala. This is the first time that we are hosting it, and very happy to say that we are completely sold out and how. So thank you to the community. Thank you. I cannot say that enough. But our main goal as the board and the strategy that we want to get in this year is that we want to diversify our portfolio, our financial portfolio. Currently, our financial portfolio is such that we are 75% dependent on federal grants and 25% dependent on community. And we don't want that to be, because grant writing is so difficult, and it's a hit or miss game, right? So you may get the grant, you may not get the grant, and there have been times when we have not got the grant because some other organization has got that grant. So, but that puts us under a lot of stress because we do not compromise on client services. That's our main mission. So there is no compromise in client services, but the compromise then is in staffing. And so there's a lot of onus then on a few people that are doing this mighty work. And so we want to diversify our financial portfolio such that hopefully we are now 75% community donors and community based on or dependent on our community, and 25% on grants.
That's awesome. That's a very big achievement too.
Yeah, we want that to happen. That is what we want in the 25th year. So we are reaching out to our community. We are reaching out to everybody through this medium also. So thank you very much for this. That's what our plan is, so that we are not dependent on grants as much.
On grants.
Yeah.
So how do you see that the Kiran will reach some other milestones? What are the milestones you are trying to reach out?
Yeah. So as the board in the start of the year, when we were planning what we want to do and what do we want to achieve in this year, we said, well, it's the 25th year. Let's achieve 100,000 in donations.
Awesome.
Let's try to get that. There are a lot of other organizations around the country that 100,000 is not a big deal for them. They go in the millions. So I think we are North Carolina is ready to let us attain that milestone. I think we are there.
Thank you very much for joining today's podcast, and Unfiltered Gupshup is thankful to host Kiran here, and thank you everyone, and please subscribe our channel and share, like, comment, and Kiran more now. So if it is possible, be a part of Kiran. Thank you very much.
Thank you.